Hello everyone. Let's get started with Introduction to Java. Today we will be covering Introduction to Java, History of Java, Features of Java, IDEs for Java, Hello World, our first Java program, print function in Java, and some basic concepts of OOPS, Object-Oriented Programming Language. Now, Java is a class-based object-oriented programming language and is designed to have few implementation dependencies as possible. General-purpose programming languages make for developers to write once, run anywhere that is compiled. Java code can run on all platforms that support Java. Java applications are compiled to bytecode that run on any Java virtual machine. The syntax of Java is similar to English, which means similar to C, C++. Now, Java makes writing, compiling, and debugging programming easy. It helps to create reusable code and modular programs. History of Java. Java's history is very interesting. It is a programming language created in 1991. James Gosling, Mike Sheridan, Patrick Naughton, a team of young engineers known as Green Team, initiated the Java language in 1991. Sun Microsystems released its first public implementation in 1996 as Java 1.0. Java was later acquired by Oracle Corporation and is now maintained by Oracle Corporation. Java 1.0 compiler was written by Arthur Van Hoff to strictly comply with its specification. With the arrival of Java 2, new versions had multiple configurations built for different type of platforms. In 1997, Sun Microsystems approached the ISO standard body and later formalized Java, but it soon withdrew from the process. Now, let's talk about how Java programming language is named Java. Java is the name of an island in Indonesia where the first Java coffee beans, were produced. And this name was chosen by James Gosling while having coffee near his office. Note that Java is just a name and not a acronym. Okay, now let's talk about some features of Java. Java is simple, which means Java is one of the simple languages. It does not have complex features like pointers, operator overloading, multiple inheritance, explicit memory allocations. Java is platform independent. Compiler converts source code to bytecode and then the JVM executes the bytecode generated by the compiler. This bytecode can run on any platform, be it Windows, Linux, or Mac OS. Which means if we compile a program on Windows, then we can run it on Linux and vice versa. Each operating system has a different JVM, but the output produced by all the OS is the same after the execution of bytecode. This is why we call Java a platform independent language. Java is easy to use because of its code readability. Since Java syntax are mostly written Java syntax is similar to English, so we can read it. Like it is not as difficult to read as a machine learning assembly language. Java is portable and powerful since it is platform independent. Java is secure. In Java, we don't have pointers and so we cannot access out of bound arrays. It shows array index out of bound exception if we try to do so. That's why several security flaws like stack corruption is impossible to exploit in Java. Java has a large community support, which means there's a lot of resources and help on internet to learn Java from. Java also supports multi-threading. It is a Java feature that allows concurrent execution of two or more parts of a program for maximum utilization of CPU. Now, let's talk about IDEs for Java. Here, IDE stands for Integrated Development Environment. There are many IDEs for Java, and we will be using BlueJ. The popular IDEs are BlueJ, NetBeans, Eclipse, IntelliJ, and Visual Studio Code. There are many more, and you can choose anyone from the list according to your comfortable. Now, let's talk about our first Hello World program, Java program. So, to execute a Hello World program or a Java program, you need to install JDK in your system. And to install JDK, first you need to download it from oracle.com. Wait, I'll show you. Search JDK download in your browser and then visit Java downloads in oracle.com. This is the official site and you will get all the authentic files from the site. Now from here you can download Java 17 for your OS. Like there is this file for Linux, this is for Mac OS and this is for Windows. Since I am using Windows, so I'll be installing this Java into 64 installer. So this will install the JDK compatible with my Windows. Now you may ask that is since Java is platform independent, so why JDK is different for Mac OS and different for Windows? So I'd like to tell you that the bytecode when Java compiler compiles the Java code to the bytecode, this bytecode is platform independent, whereas the JVM that executes the bytecode is platform dependent. So, since the JDK is all the set of tools, it consists of JVM specific to the OS. So, JDK is platform dependent because of this JVM. So, download this file and install using this installer. I won't be downloading it since I already have the Java on my system. Now to check Java, if you have Java on your system, then you can simply search JAVAC in your command prompt. Yeah, I can see that there are many commands that I can use with JAVAC, Java C command. So if you are getting like error that this command is not found, then you don't have Java either JDK installed on your system or you haven't added JDK to the path and environment variables. So first of all, after downloading of installation of JDK, you can open OSC and go in program files. You will find a folder named Java there. You can open this JDK folder in Java and open Bing. Now double tap here where and copy the Bing folder's access. Okay. After copying the Bing folder access, simply search environment variables. Now go to environment variables and add this location in path in user variables. Now edit and then add this path. Since I already have this path added, so I won't be doing this, but you can just simply add new and then paste the path here. Okay. Now press OK and OK. And after the installation of JDK and adding the path in your environment variables uh, you can access Java on your whole machine. Okay, so now let's write our first Java program. Open command prompt, open notepad and simply write the code here. Our hello world program class hello world class name. This is the class name. Then write a method public static void main string arguments passed in the method and then write system.out.println hello world as the message. We will be printing hello world message after the on the execution of this code. Now save the file and open CMD command prompt. Now go to the directory where you saved this file. I saved my file on desktop, so I'll be going to desktop. Now compile the file using JAVAC Java C command and write the file name. My file name is simple.java. Here the file is compiled. There won't be any output for the compilation of file. Now to execute the file, simply write JAVA Java and file name. Here, sorry, file name. Here, this is the message I printed in the my code hello world. So the message is displayed here. We can also use Java and the class name. Here, the class name of my file is hello world, of my code is hello world. So I'll be writing Java hello world. Since Java is case sensitive, so you need to note that what characters in your class name are in uppercase and what characters are in lowercase. And Java and class name. Hit enter, and you will see that your class is executed. So again, the message displayed here is hello world that we passed in system.out.println hello world. So this is how simply you can run a Java code. And yay, we just executed our first Java program. Okay, now let's talk about print in Java. Java uses syntax for print statement is system.out.println and then parameter. This parameter can be anything the user wants to print on the screen. Here, we know to know that this print ln and print are two different functions. Print ln is used when we want to print the message and then move the cursor to the new line. But print is used when we need to when we print the message but wants the cursor to remain on same line. Now, here system.out is the standard output stream in system.out.println that is used to produce the result of a program on an output screen like the computer screen. And println is the method in Java that is used to display text on the console. It prints the text on the console and the cursor moves to the next line because of ln. And if you are not using ln, then the cursor remains on the same line. Now, here we can see the difference of ln. Wait, let me show you the difference between ln. I will be using I will be copying this line, paste it. Message will be new line. Uh, yes, semicolon. We need to add semicolon after every statement in Java. Yes, we will be using print so that cursor remains on same line, and then we will printing a message same line. Yes, semicolon. Let's save the file, and then we need to again compile the file. We need to compile the Java file after every update we make. So let's compile the file. Uh, yes, and now let's execute the file. I'm sorry, it is simple.java. Yes, here we can see that hello world. Yes, here we can see that hello world is printed on a line, and afterwards new line is printed on in the new line because we used print ln along to print hello world. Same line is printed after the new line in the same line as new line because we used print method to print new line. So cursor is on the same line. Now let's talk about some basic concepts of OOPS. OOPS stands for Object-Oriented Programming Language. It is the organization or it is the concept that brings the programming language near to the real world objects. Using OOPS, you can relate your program to the real world objects. Object-oriented programming aims to implement real world entities like inheritance, hidden code, hidden data, encapsulation basically, polymorphism, abstraction, etc. and programming. The four main pillars of OOPS are abstraction, encapsulation, inheritance, and polymorphism. Now, first of all, let's talk about some terminologies. Class. A class is a user-defined blueprint or prototype which from which objects are created. It represents the set of properties or methods that are common to all objects of one type. In general, class declaration can include modifiers, class name, superclass if any, and interfaces. A class is always surrounded by its body and enclosed in curly braces. Now, object. Object is a basic unit of object-oriented programming and represents the real-world entities. A typical Java program creates many objects, which, as you know, interact by invoking methods. Every object consists of a state, a specific behavior, and identity. Method. A method is a collection of statements that perform some specific task and return result to the caller. A method can perform some specific task without returning anything. Methods allow us to reuse the code without retyping the code. In Java, every method must be a part of some class, which is different from languages like C, C++, and Python. Methods are time savers and help us to reuse the code without retyping the code. Now, let's talk about four pillars of OOPS. First is abstraction. Abstraction is the property by virtue of which only the essential details are displayed to the user. The trivial or the non-essential units are not displayed to the user. Example, a car is viewed as a car rather than its individual components. Data abstraction may also be defined as process of identifying only the required characteristics of the object, ignoring the irrelevant details. Consider a real life example here of a man driving a car. The man only knows that pressing the accelerators will increase the speed of car or applying the brakes will stop the car. But he does not know about how to how on pressing the accelerator the speed is actually increasing. He does not know about the inner mechanism of the car or the implementation of accelerator, brakes, etc. in the car. This is what abstraction is. Now, let's talk about encapsulation. It is defined as wrapping up of data under a single unit. It is the mechanism that binds together code and the data it manipulates. Another way to think about encapsulation is it is the protective shield that prevents the data from being accessed by the code outside the shield. Technically, in an encapsulation, the variables or data of a class is hidden from any other class and can be accessed only through a member function of own class in which they are declared. Encapsulation is also known as data hiding. Encapsulation can be achieved by declaring all the variables in class as private and writing public methods in the class. Now, let's talk about inheritance, third pillar. Inheritance is an important pillar of OOPS. It is the mechanism in Java by which one class allows to inherit the features of another class. There are some important terminologies in the concept of inheritance. Superclass. The class whose features are inherited is known as superclass. It is also known as a base class or a parent class. Subclass. The class that inherits the class other class is known as subclass, also known as derived class, extended class, or a child class. The subclass can also add its own fields and methods in addition to the superclass fields and methods. Polymorphism, fourth pillar. It refers to the ability of OOPS programming language to differentiate between entities with the same name efficiently. This is done by Java with the help of signature and declaration of these entities. Polymorphism in Java are mainly of two types, overloading and overriding. I hope all your concepts from today's session are clear. Thank you.